everyone, welcome back. I'm doing a fall series on my channel where I talk about or show you fall makeup, fall fashion, fall fragrances, fall decor, fall food, basically everything fall related. Today I'm going to show you my top 10 palettes for fall. These are not in a super specific order, but I am going from my more favorites to my less favorites, but they're all my favorites. And on my number one spot is this Huda Beauty palette, Naughty Nude. Here is the color story. What I love about this palette is whenever I do a look, it just looks beautiful and sultry. It's a very unique color story. And whatever look I come out with, it just looks super unique, unlike other colors that I see from other palettes. The shimmers in here are beautiful, and every single time when I create a look, my eyes look super sultry. And I love that. I would say this palette is really good for the evening time. I mean, you do have quite a bit of mattes if you wanted to do a day look, but my preference for this palette is evening time. Up next, I have Natasha Denona's latest release, My Dream Palette. I love this palette not just because of the color story and the formulas, but I also love it for the story behind it. It is very personal to her, which makes it special. Even the shade names are like Aspiration, Carpe Diem, Spontaneous, Edgy, Vision. I love the whole concept of this palette, and I also really like the color story. And there are some really beautiful shades in here, especially this shade is absolutely beautiful, and I don't have this shade in other palettes. I have used this shade a lot too, and this one is also really nice, which I pretty much use in almost every look. Vision, I feel like there is something similar in, I believe is Pat McGrath's palette, but I did do 10 looks from this palette, but they are all in my shorts. So I did one short video for each look. And I loved pretty much all of them. I did some cool tone looks, and I also did a little bit of warm and toasty looks with this as well. So pretty versatile palette. And I also have the Natasha Denona Retro palette in here as well. A lot of people thought that this would be very similar to the My Dream palette, but when I did the swatches, it actually came out to be quite different. Pinky burgundy shades in here are much brighter. Even the warmer shades are lighter and brighter. Retro palette is more of a happy fall palette, whereas the Dream palette is a little bit more sultry fall palette. For a daytime look, I would go with the Retro palette. For an evening look, I would go with the My Dream palette. Number 3, I have another Huda Beauty palette. This is the Rose Quartz palette. Now this palette, you can call it a fall palette, or you can even call it a year-round palette, because I do think these colors work year-round. But majority of the palette is cool tone. So whenever you are looking to create a cool tone look, maybe you're going to wear a navy blue fall jacket. So with that, you're not going to create a warm, toasty look. You're going to want your eyeshadow to be cool. It's a great palette to do those types of looks. I also really love this Cinnamon Swirl palette by Too Faced. Also has really beautiful shades for fall. Most of them are pretty warm and toasty with pops of a few purples and a couple of cool tones. As you can see, I did use this shade a lot. For the fall time, I do like mauve-y colors as well, so this is one particular shade that I would use a lot during the fall time. And I also love cooler browns like this one right here. And then the rest of them are pretty warm and toasty. A similar palette to the Cinnamon Swirl and the Retro palette is this Sigma New Mod palette. This is also a pretty cool tone palette, but it has a couple of warm shades in there. Also has some of those burgundy purpley shades. So I think it looks a lot like the Retro palette. And it has some interesting, beautiful shades in there as well, like this shade right here. If you love warm, toasty, happy colors for fall, you don't like the dark and grungy colors, then Natasha Denona Sunset Palette would be perfect for you. Look at these colors. I mean, you can see everything is pretty warm, happy, toasty. And she also threw in these bright colors in here, like this yellow one and this red one. If you are gathering for perhaps like Thanksgiving, this would be a nice one because it is a little bit more festive and happy. This next one surprised me. This is by Tresluce and it's La Flor de Mexico. I believe this came out in the springtime and is supposed to represent like flowers, but the colors in here are actually very fall appropriate. And I love this color for fall as well. Olive green, mauve tones, I think are some colors that people don't necessarily think of during fall, but I think it's absolutely beautiful. And the formula in this palette is really good. The mattes are super creamy, very different from other palettes. And the shimmer shades look wet and they look very glass-like on your eyes. Quite surprised by how good the quality is of the shades in here. But it is a basic color story. It's nothing special, but sometimes you just need basic. And then the last two palettes I have, and I'm saying last two because they came in a bundle. This is a new release. It's by Tarte and is part of their holiday bundle. One palette is a cooler tone palette. I love this blue, the green, the purple, like just a really beautiful cool tone palette. And then the other one is a warm tone palette. So I love that it's in a bundle, so you could basically do any look that you want during the fall time. All of these shades are very fall appropriate. These two together, you can create so many different looks, and the bundle is at a really good price. So you're getting a lot of shades at a good price with a good formula. Now this navy blue one in here is a little bit crumbly, but if you use a setting spray on the brush and then apply it, then it stays put on your eyes. All the looks that I've created from these two palettes have come out looking really beautiful. I do highly recommend this holiday bundle by Tarte. And that's it for my top 10 palettes for fall. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope that it was useful for you. I think all of these palettes are great for fall. They range from warm tones to cool tones, from happy festive colors to more darker and grungier colors. I love them all. I like every single one of them. I think these 10 together make a really nice collection for fall, and I'm looking forward to using them. I have been using them during the fall, and I look forward to continue to use them. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this video was helpful. If you liked it, make sure you hit that like button. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe and also hit the bell notification so that you will be notified every time I upload a video. And I will have some affiliate links down below linking all of these eyeshadow palettes, and it would really help support my channel if you use the links down below. Thank you. Bye.